Hi there, my name is Angela Kegley, and this is my presentation over understanding students with attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, also known as ADHD. So I think it's important to understand how many students are actually affected by ADHD every day. The latest report that I could find that gave me a solid number that felt factual was from a 2016 report from the CDC, and it stated that 6.1 million children between the ages of 2 and 17 had been diagnosed with ADHD in the United States. That's a large number of students, and this website also stated that this was one of the most common diseases that children have that they have to deal with in school settings. But recently there has been an increase in diagnosis of ADHD in children. So that brings the question, how has the number of students identified increased in the recent years? Once again, the latest numbers that I could find was from that website, the CDC website, and it said that there was a proven 42% jump in increase of diagnosis of children between 2003 and 2011. That is insane. I feel like typically we see smaller increases of diseases coming present in schools, but that is almost 50% of a jump in diagnosis. But what is causing the increase in diagnosis? So I looked at this website had a researcher, Wei Bao. I don't know if I'm saying it right, but Wei Bao had done research on this, and he believed that the schools and doctors and parents were being more aware of what these symptoms of ADHD are, and they are becoming more aware that this isn't just how their kid acts. Like there's a reason behind it, and their student could be doing better in school. So the awareness around ADHD is causing part of that increase. Another researcher, Adam Leventhal, also believes that it could be down due to screen time on tablets or phones or TV. I believe he had a whole research based around screen time and stimulation. He believes that these children are getting so much screen time that they are trying, like they can't find a way of stimulating themselves as much. I don't know if that really makes sense coming out of my mouth. But another theory that ADHD could be caused by genetics. It's been proven that 3 out of 4 children who are diagnosed with ADHD have a relative who was previously diagnosed with ADHD. So that gives us a pretty high percentage chance that it could be partially genetics as well. It's still not 100% proven that any of these are what is causing that increase, but these are all very good theories, and I think they all play a little part in it. So what are some of the behaviors or characteristics of students with ADHD? Some of the things that doctors are letting parents and educators be more aware of, so that educators and parents know what to look for so that they can help their student flourish. So here are some of the main characteristics that are easily noticed by parents and educators. Their child is having trouble staying focused in class, and they get easily distracted or bored. So maybe you're up there teaching a lesson and the child just gets distracted by a kid playing on the playground out the window, or gets just distracted by another student tapping their pencil on their desk, or just a little drawing on their desk. Like they can easily be distracted by anything in the classroom, and they just can't stay focused no matter how hard they try. It's just really hard for them. Hyperactivity and impulsiveness. This is one of the biggest ones. Whenever I was doing my research, hyperactivity was one of the most common characteristics that I came upon. So if your child just cannot sit down and they can't stop fidgeting and they can't and they just have to be doing something and have to do this right now, this is a characteristic of ADHD. So your child is sitting there in the classroom and they have to get up to go look at the kid playing with the ball outside, or they have to get up and let that student know that they don't need to be tapping on their desk. These are both very common things that happen in the classroom. Difficulty following instructions or paying attention. This kind of goes back with the first point, but it also goes in with they often lose track. Like if it's a multiple step process, they can't follow all of those instructions. They tend to forget or get mixed up somewhere along the process. So that is another big characteristic. And these last two points both kind of go hand in hand as well. They struggle to stay organized and they misplace objects such as toys, homework, books, etc. So your student may come into class and they may be freaking out that they lost their homework from the night before, and so they're freaking out that they can't turn it in and they don't know where it's at. But maybe it's just in their backpack, or maybe it's in their locker. This is just something that they really can't control. Like a lot of teachers will give them a folder with stuff for their parents and stuff that needs to stay home or stuff that they need to bring back. That way it's kind of a communication between parents and teachers on helping that student stay organized. So how would these characteristics make it difficult in the classroom? So some of these points present clear obstructions for learning and participating in the classroom, such as difficulty following instructions and trouble staying focused. But being hyperactive and hyperactive will distract not only themselves, not only the teacher, but it could also distract the other students. So I think that teachers find the best way that they can to help not only that student, but also help the other students in their classroom so that all the students are receiving the best education that they can, not excluding the student who has ADHD and not depriving the other students of their education because of distractions or anything in the classroom. So do all students with ADHD demonstrate the same characteristics or degree of behavior? I pulled a quote from Melinda Smith on her article that is listed in the resources. It says, some children with ADHD are hyperactive while others sit quietly with their attention miles away. Some put too much focus on a task and have trouble shifting it to something else. Others are mildly inattentive but overly impulsive. So to sum it up, she pretty much said that there are three main types of children who have ADHD. There is the student who is inattentive but not hyperactive or impulsive. So they're sitting there in their seat and they're there in the classroom, but they are not paying attention. Their mind is distracted by something else. They won't physically get up and do something out of ordinary for the classroom, but they won't be sitting there and retaining the material as the other students would. Hyperactive and impulsive, but not able to pay attention. So this student will be getting up and they will be moving around their classroom, or they may be blurting out without permission, and they are not able to pay attention. In this instance, you may need a para who may need to come in and help the student to sit there and pay attention, or to keep this student on track, or just different interactive objects for the student to learn the material. inattentive, hyperactive, and impulsive. So this student is not able to sit there, not able to pay attention, and not able to complete, like not able to do what the teacher asks of them. So they are up around the classroom and they are blurting out in the middle of class, and they are not here, like not in the classroom. So before they were just not able to pay attention. They may be able to be in the classroom and present in the lesson, but they aren't paying attention to the full lesson and aren't taking everything in. This student is not in the lesson at all. Their mind is wandering over 1,000,000 miles away, and they just aren't retaining any of the information the teacher is teaching. So what are some ways that we can make sure that not only the student with ADHD gets a proper education, but also the other students in the classroom? So one of the main strategies that I see all over the place, and I have learned through different classes as well, is sometimes students just need to get up and walk around throughout the day. Sometimes they just get a little restless and they just need to get up and stretch a little bit. I think everybody knows that feeling. Personally, I sit here all day doing homework and I'll have to get up and I'll have to take breaks. I'll run and grab a coffee, or I'll run and just take my dog for a walk. Just allowing that student to get up and take a break or walk around the room or sharpen their pencil, or even incorporating movement or stretches into daily activity, like, oh, we just finished that assignment, let's go ahead and let's have a dance party before we get into our next assignment. That's one good way to get your students moving. For students who tend to get off track, providing this student with a list of the smaller details for every task. For one big project, say maybe task 1, get the information. Task 2, print out the information. Task 2, print out pictures. Task 4, put it all on the poster. Task 5, present. Just breaking it down into multiple steps so that whenever they do happen to get off track, they have that list and they can look back and be like, oh yes, this is what I need to be doing right now. This is what my teacher is expecting me at this moment. One of the ways to help students who are hyperactive and impulsive is using hands-on materials. If they have something that they can be doing in their hands and playing with in a way, it will keep them focused on that content and it will help them to learn the material better. This is a common strategy used with younger children, and it helps many students with ADHD. I think it's an excellent tool. There are so many different ways you could use this, whether it's different things with different textures or different building blocks. There's all kinds of different interactive activities that you can use to help your students stay on track. All right, and then here is my list of resources. And thank you for watching my presentation on understanding students with ADHD. Thank you.